The World Bank resists push to end Kenya power monopoly, and the World Bank has actually warned the Kenya government against its push to end Kenya Power's monopoly in the sale of electricity to homes and businesses, saying exposing the utility to competition will actually trigger a surge in electricity prices.
That's right. I'm just shocked because niaje leo nimejipata nikiagree na World Bank na IMF.
Me too.
How the turntables? Well, I'm not even sure, but
it actually makes sense because as soon as electricity is seen as a commodity, and there's so many key players in the market, profit.
True, as opposed to seeing it as a critical public, infrastructure. It now becomes something that's privatized, then capitalism will do the rest for sure. The Bretton Woods Institution, that's the World Bank, reckons that allowing other firms to sell power also risks crippling the Nairobi bus listed utility, that's Kenya Power, due to long-term wholesome electricity agreements it has linked with generators like KenGen, Lake Turkana Wind, and or Power 4. So that's very true. Kenya Power is in many, many contracts with suppliers of power. And should they not be able to buy all that power actually, then they would be going at a critical loss. Kenya has published regulations that allow private firms to sell electricity directly to consumers with the target of ending the monopoly by Kenya Power in the first quarter of 2025.
As we look at that, Kenya Power has inked power purchase agreements with 27 firms whom it paid 117 billion in the year that led to June 2023. So consumers often complain of steep power bills, which are partially due to idle capacity charges that compensate power generators from electricity that is generated but are never used. You've seen that in most cases when we talked about this, it was off air, but then it's something that we need to also note that sometimes in an effort to make sure that we fight climate change, we've been using these heavy generators, they're pollutants to our environment. So napata, the alternative for electricity is also still bad to the environment.
That's very true. But of course, it would be a terrible situation for Kenyans if power prices were to go even higher. For example, for you to buy 50 units of power in 2019, you needed 823 bob. Right now, it's 1,278 for the same 50 units. And people will tell you that the truth is sometimes the amount of money that it takes to buy a unit doesn't even stay the same throughout the month.
No, it does not.
If you buy at like mwanzo wa mwezi, it's more expensive. Towards the middle, it's somehow cheaper. Like, it does not make sense.
Yes. Now, unajua hii advice tulikuwa tunapatiwa wapi? Washington DC. Now, according to our CS Mbadi, unajua alisema the most embarrassing thing was that in Washington DC, how African countries would line up. Wanapiga foleni wakingojea kupatiwa nini? Loan. So imagine you're given in between 15 to 30 minutes. Wanaita Kenya, unaingia hapo mnajiongea, mnapewa pesa yenyu. But of course, he gave a recommendation and talked about how with proper collection of taxes and actually just making sure that everyone pays their taxes properly. And mwananchi wa chini analipa tax vizuri sana. Huku juu ndio iko shida.
Ndio watu kuna shida. Evasion, and they're evading in millions, billions.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if we can collect as a country, that's at least according to CS Mbadi, we can collect up to 400 billion instead of going out to borrow 79 billion, 300 billion. We can actually make that money right here at home.
And I nakumbuka former President Uhuru said we lose 2 billion a day. Your times 365 sini 700 billion.
Best part or funniest part ilikuwa ni mnataka nifanye nini?